Welcome to Crafty Compulsions. My name is Valerie and I'm so glad you could join me. Today I'm going to be doing a color with me from Cute and Magical Coloring Book by Alexandra Franzese. This is the page I've decided to color today. And I'm going to use my Prismacolor Premier Pencils. I'll show you the colors that I use as I use them. I've got cards here, and I'll put them over here. So you can follow along with me coloring this page or a similar page. You can use these colors or your own colors, or you can color any page you like and just enjoy coloring together. I would love to color with you today. And if you're doing something other than coloring, I am so happy that I can join with you for what you're working on today, or what you're relaxing or resting or enjoying today. So I used a website to help me generate a color palette for this page. So I'm going to show you, this is the website. And this is the color palette that I ended up choosing. Let me know in the comments if you'd like me to show you how this website works. I would be more than happy to do that. Just let me know. In addition to these colors, I'm also going to add in probably some brown as a bit of a neutral color, and maybe even some gold. I don't know what I'm going to do as embellishments, but we'll start with these colors and we'll start with the Prismacolor Premier Pencils, and we'll see where the creativity takes us. I really like Alexandra Franzese's pages. They have a little bit of shading on them, just a touch, and I'm finding that very helpful for myself in making sure I get the shadows in the right spots. Okay, so let's jump in. So I'm going to start with one of my mid-tone reds that I've picked out. So I have Scarlet Lake, Tuscan Red, Crimson Lake, and Permanent Red. And I'm just going to put on a light layer to kind of base the mushroom top. So there. Now I'm going to take the Crimson Lake, so a darker red, and I'm going to go over where some of the shadows are going to be. So I'm just going to use this grayscale that's already shaded there to guide me. So there's some kind of around the window here and under the bug. And I'm just going very lightly. I want to get a sense of, is this where I want the colors to kind of be before I add another layer and burnish. Burnish means pushing really hard, and especially with the Prismacolors, it's when you kind of smoosh the colors all together and fills in any white. just looking to see a little bit here, because it's kind of like a fold in the mushroom. Those two spots are going to kind of run into each other. That's okay. Got the bug, and then this spot, a little bit there. And I think that I'm going to add a little bit here too, kind of in the corner. I'm happy with that. I'm going to take Tuscan red and make a really kind of darker line there in the shadow spots. I want to get really close to that black line so that it looks like there's no gap. I don't want to see any white between the black line and the Tuscan red. When I'm coloring, once I have an idea of where the shadows are going to be and where the light and dark colors are going to be, I generally go from dark to light. I find it's the way I like to blend. Okay, so then I'm just kind of, that was probably with medium hard pressure, that first little bit, and now I'm going over it with a light pressure, just kind of fading that out a little bit. So I'm kind of going over that. I don't want there to be a harsh line, so I'm just going over the edge softly and fading it out. And this one, and I see I've missed a spot, so it's okay. So go over this nice and dark against the window frame. And then we're going to go very softly over the top. Just very, very lightly. That's going to prevent those lines from forming between the colors. And around the bug, so I'm going to go with firm pressure right against the edge of the bug. I like to rotate my pencil every few strokes. It helps to keep the point on the end of the pencil, on the tip of the pencil. And I've been coloring. I've been doing that, rotating the pencil. I didn't even really realize that I do that because it's almost unconscious now. So I'm kind of feathering that out a little bit with a light pressure all along here. I want to go over that again. That was too light. just going over any area that I think needs a little touch up. Okay, good with that. So that's the Tuscan red. Now I'm going to go to the next darkest, the Crimson Lake. And I'm going to go over, the Tuscan red area and then bring it out further. So I'm going to use a good medium pressure, medium to hard pressure. I'm going to go over that with fairly medium hard pressure and then fade it out. It's okay if it's running into this one, that's okay. Kind of going over that, where that dark line was, with the dark line of this color, the Crimson Lake, in little circles. And now I'm getting lighter and lighter and lighter. I'm not going to color this in a way that looks like the spots are off the surface of the mushroom. I'm going to color it as if it's a smooth surface. It's just a different color. So I'm going to go really light now. Okay. Make this one a little bit. Just going over again where the Crimson Lake met the Tuscan red. Okay, now we'll do this area. So right beside where I did that solid line, and then little circles getting lighter and lighter. So firm pressure over top, very close to that line, and then getting lighter and lighter. And this is going to kind of run into this one, so we can use, it's almost going to fill it in. So firm pressure and then softening up. So up here, I'm going to go just really light, almost over this whole area. Along the edge. I'm going to go along the edge with this color to create a very light shadow and fade it out. I'm not even pressing that hard. I'm going to bring this out even further. Okay, and then you just kind of pretend this is the center and then it just kind of radiates out. And this one too. And then what'll happen is the area that's left, if you kind of make your radiant circles that, you know, start from here and then get lighter, 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 lighter. And then you can see where these spots are here, where I haven't put much of this Crimson Lake at all. That's where it's going to be the lightest. So I find by starting with the shadows like this, my highlighted areas are kind of found for me. Now, of course, this isn't, I'm not using fancy, you know, light direction or anything like that. I'm just kind of doing a simple shading and highlighting method. And that's where I'm at. I want to get better at my shading and highlighting, but I'm not there yet. So we're going to go kind of along the edge here, just adding some of this nice deep red color. Just a bit. Because if the whole thing is colored in the lighter red color, there won't be as much variance, and then it won't be as interesting. Good. Over here, oops, it's a little bit harder than I thought. I'm not even gripping the pencil that hard. Bring this out here because that's like a focal point, so we want it kind of radiating out. Same here. Go along the edge. So I didn't want to put the Tuscan red along the edge here because it was going to make it too dark of a shadow. I wanted this to be the darkest spots. And then around the outside that I'm doing now will be the next darkest. So I'm using the next darkest color. Just another light layer. So I'm happy with those areas for now. I'm going to come up here for a minute because very light and then quite dark. So I know that I need to fade this into it a little bit more. There, see the difference that made? Now there's a little bit of light and then a medium and then the dark. There, so I went around the edge again, just right up against the black, not with light pressure, not with hard pressure, just another light layer there just to make sure that there's no, I don't want there to be any big white spaces between the red and the black. So that was the Crimson Lake. Now let's go. The next darkest color I picked out is Scarlet Lake. And I'm going to start with these areas where I have the darkest red, and I'm going to go over the Crimson Light color. I'm using a pretty, again, like to start, I'm using a pretty hard pressure. And I'm actually going over all the rest that's been done as well, the Tuscan Red and the Crimson Lake, making sure that's all blended in together nicely. And then I'm going to go harder pressure again because here's another dark spot. Okay, and then light pressure here around the window, coming over here to the edge. So a little bit darker along the edge, a little bit harder, and then fading out. There. So what's left here that's not been burnished or finished, I'll use the last red that I picked out. So let's go over this hard pressure. Right in there. I want to make sure that I got all the white. And I'm kind of going in a combination of circles and lines, but in different directions. That helps get a smooth blend. I'm going to take that right to this one. So I am fully burnishing it to the edge here. Yep. And over here. Okay. Now, let's do this part. So firm pressure. And firm pressure over top of where we had the Crimson Lake. And now I'm going to ease up a bit, and this is going to be a bit of a highlight area right there. Okay, so now I've got another dark shadow. I'm going to go over with firm pressure. I'm going to make this whole piece with firm pressure here because it's not, I don't want there to be a highlight so close to this dark area. This would be all darker. I won't get to that, to the last color there. And then in this space, we're going to get it lighter, fade out. Because this spot here is far away from the other shadows. So I'm going to make it I'm going to make it the lightest area. Good. Okay. Let's finish this space off. I'm going to go over that even though it's burnished. I'm just going to use this color as kind of like a blending pencil. Make sure those two colors are smushed together. In the corner. Bring this down here. Nice light pressure. Okay, in the edge here, I'm just putting a light layer. I don't want to highlight there, so I'm just putting another light layer here, so this won't be as light as this spot. Right along the edge here, I can go a bit harder, make that a little darker. And circles as I lighten on the pressure. Same thing here, a little darker right near the edge, and then lighter circles fading out. We're going to have a highlight here. This spot here will be highlighted. By highlight, I mean the lightest part of the mushroom. I'm going to go back here. That line looks a little harsh, so I'm just using medium pressure over top of the edge, using circles in different directions. Yeah, that's better. All right, so now over here, we've got a little bit of this darker, last little shadow under the window. So I'm using firm pressure over top of all the other colors here. And fading out, kind of meet up with this one. There. Along the edge, firm pressure, medium pressure, and then some soft circles. Oopsie, I got some in those. I got some in the mushroom spot. This area here is not looking quite right. There. That looks good. Now I've got permanent red. Now if all goes well, I'll be done with this mushroom with this color. But I know that there's a chance I might go back to the Scarlet Lake or Crimson Lake if I wanted to make any of the area I just did a little bit more darker. So I'm going to be using a firm pressure, as long as it looks like these are blending well together in the way that I want them to, and they are. Yeah, that looks good. So I'm going to fully burnish. That means I'm pushing hard. I'm covering in all of the white area that's left. I'm making sure that I go backtrack over the last color edge a little bit, so over the Scarlet Lake a little bit, so that the permanent red blends with the Scarlet Lake. good. I'm getting like Super Mario Brother vibes, the mushrooms. I think they were red with white spots, right? I think they made Mario get bigger. And it's good. Usually I start off with like the grass and the leaves. So this is kind of neat for me to see so much bright color on the page already. There. All right, so I'm going to do the other mushrooms tops. So this one, and this one, and this one, and this one in the same way that I did this one, the big one. The other thing that I'm going to do differently this time is I know that these colors work well with where I put them. So I will do less of that initial kind of basing stage.